I'm going to be getting my aluminum hopefully this week. So I need to get this skinned up the rest of the way. I'm building a tiny teardrop camper from scratch, the Wander Tears Vaga. The goal is to get this rig ready for our family adventures in 2026. This is coming along pretty cool. Loving it. So we've got this opening here that's for the stargazing window, but I need to put in some radiuses in here because the window is not perfectly square here. So what we gotta do is cut out those corners, measure the radius, CAD up some stuff, and then we can cut it out on the mill. Alex did some CAD work. We've got a part here to do. It's the curved part that will allow the opening to be curved to accommodate the window here. All right, we've got our cam loaded up, our tool path loaded up into our UGS, the Universal G-Code sender. It's hooked up to our machine, and we've got our 0 placed in here. So now all we have to do is hit go. Are you ready to hit go, Alex?
Yeah.
Any questions?
No.
Any last words?
I hope it doesn't explode.
All right, we got one piece. This is the piece that came out, and a couple of things that we'll do to improve the machining. Let's test it out, see if the curve fits onto the window.
Yeah.
I think that fits pretty well. It's gonna be like down here, like that. But I think that's a perfect fit. All right, we have to make 7 more of these, but let's make a couple of changes. We got the piece out, but it just free floats into there. So we're using FreeCAD as our CAD software, and there's a feature in here to add these tags. It's called Path Dress Up, and then you add tags. So I have 2 different parts in here, and we'll have to just cut them out manually. So let's repost it, and we'll get it to run and cut out the next one. And one last thing to do before we get this all finalized is just test fit the window. Oh, you don't have the step stool, do you?
No.
I have it. Oh yeah. There's plenty of room. That's perfect. All right, it's after work. I got a little bit of time while the weather is still nice to cut some plywood. This is ready to be skinned with the plywood, but I gotta cut the 1/8" plywood at just over 5 feet. I'm super excited because I'm getting the aluminum. So I'm gonna take this out and we're gonna get the 1/8" plywood down there underneath, get that all cut up at just over 5 feet to get this started to be skinned. So I need to cut a hole, drill a hole in that plywood for my wires to come out. I'm a little bit lower than what the plans were calling for. They said like 11 inches up. But if I'm down this far, I think I'm going to be good. There'll be some diamond plate on the front of this here, and that'll be where the wire connector will attach to. So if I'm like right here, I think these wires will come out of that hole pretty nicely. The hole is drilled. That's a 1.5 inch hole. I've got like hole saws, so I could go bigger. I think I might actually will. Yeah, let me go a little bit bigger. This is the trouble with hole saws, though I've already cut the hole. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. Get this really where I want it. Have to hold it more steady. All right, that worked. I've got the hole cut and opened up to a 2-inch hole, and I wanted this big enough because there's a gland that'll go in here on the diamond plate, and I want to attach that gland to the diamond plate and have that be the structure that holds the wiring coming out of here. First wire through. Making some progress here. I've got got a whole little thing going on, but I've got some straps, I've got part of the sheathing, and a plan. My plan is set up because I have a little bit of an issue, I think, here. When I put this spar in, I put it too far up, or I just, either that or the way that this sheet is bending around here, it's not matching up close to the middle. It's like really far down here at the end. But my plan is to take this, fold it all up into the camper and move it up a little bit into place, so that way it'll sit halfway into here. But I want to do that by pulling all these straps in, making this nice and tight, and then making a little bit of adjustments to make sure that this top edge lines right up with the middle of this spar here. Let's see how successful I can be with doing that. All right, I've got things set up pretty good. I've got it tight enough, I think. I just wanted to make sure I got this position good. And then what I'll do is just start stapling, but I'm gonna start stapling in the middle and working my way out. Keep this all down nice and tight. I also want to make sure I'm not gonna nail in where my wires are at too. This turned out nice. There's a couple of spots where there's a little bit of a bow, like right here in the middle. But once the diamond plate goes on and the trim goes on, that won't even be noticed, except for everyone that is listening to this. Anyway, I'm gonna get this top piece on here. And even though my heat is on in the garage, it still is like 60 degrees outside. So I'm gonna open the door and get outside, let the dog run around some. All right, and the second piece is on, and that one lined up perfect. So now I got to cut this last piece to just like a rough cut size. So I'll use a router to cut this out here too. Maybe I can get it right to here. Actually, I'm gonna try it. And I'm pretty sure I missed all of my wires. I got a little bit concerned because this one is close, but I think I'm okay. Nothing shorted out. I did some tests, so I think we'll be all right. That is going to be all right. And all sealed up. Pretty good. The last thing to do for this whole part is to trim this all off. And now comes the part I've been waiting for months. Taping the rest of this RV underlayment in. Tape along this whole edge, all the way up and all the way around. But before we put the tape on, I'm gonna paint it with some Kilz primer, just to help keep anything sealed up good. All right, well that's it for this segment. The build is, wow, it's just really taking such shape. I mean, just to look back on a couple of things from the past few months, the first thing really being the sides. Like once I put these sides up, it really gave it such a shape. And then before that, once the frame was welded and the floor was in, it was really starting to look like a camper. And this was really starting to look like a camper when the sides were up. And now, with it skinned and taped and ready for aluminum, wow, that's it is such a good feeling. And I'll be picking up the aluminum today, hopefully, maybe tomorrow, in the snow. Finally getting snow. It's February, and we're finally getting snow. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, we got the color picked out, we got the aluminum picked out for the top, which that's a whole thing. I'll go into that in my aluminum video, but I think it will work out. Thanks for sticking around for these episodes. I hope that you enjoy them as much as I enjoy making this camper and recording this progress too. See you next time. Stay wild.